Welcome our viewers to our program, John Kaniaru Live. This is brought to you courtesy of Mamboleo Media. We are in our studio in London, where we broadcast from. And tonight we have a guest, MWATHA Njoroge, who is currently in Kenya. MWATHA Njoroge is a CEO of Daring Achievers Network, an organization that inform and advise investors in prudent financial investment. MWATHA Njoroge, I've been following his videos, and there is a way he presents his ideas in a short video of about 5 minutes, but it is quite informed. And today, we decided to bring him in so that our viewers, they can benefit from his vast knowledge in the financial investment in Kenya. At this juncture, I will invite him, and my name is John Kaniaru. Njoroge MWATHA, welcome.
Thank you.
To this program.
Asante sana, John.
Yeah, karibu, and nice to see you, and we feel honored that you have taken time to come into this show so that you can inform your followers here in diaspora who have been following you. And I give you a minute to introduce yourself and Daring Achievers. Welcome.
Thank you so much, John. I really much appreciate. I'm humbled to be hosted on this platform. How I play that this happen every other day, but I know that may not be possible. But I want to thank you so much even for inviting me. MWATHA Njoroge is my name, and above everything else, I'm a student, and I keep learning. After I'm here to learn, and I keep learning on every platform that I am invited on. So I'm a PhD student, learning leadership and governance, and I appreciate that after I joined PhD class, I realized there is a lot of information that people do not understand about finances, and that prompted me to start something. One called Daring Achievers Network. And this is a network born out of my own experiences. I have tried so many businesses and failing. Actually, I have started more than 20 companies. Almost all of them have failed. I have 18 out of 20 failing, but I have 2 of them working. And when I share on this platform, I share about my real experiences, and I also host people who have gone through experiences. So daring is about people who have dared to be great in spite of the circumstances they have been, so that they have a story or a platform to tell their failure, to tell their successes, and more importantly, a place where they can convert their failures into assets, a failure story, and earn from it, so that people will not follow, or rather people do not have enough time to learn from all the mistakes. And therefore, my platform called Daring Achievers Network, number one, is to hold, rather to tell other people's stories about the things they have done. Secondly, as a financial consultant, I help individuals and institutions make sure that they can make smart, informed financial decisions. And I know many a times, the question is not so much about money. It is what you do with your money. And John, as I had told you earlier, in the game of money, you are either played or you are the one playing. And therefore, I thought it is very, very important. Yes, kama sio unacheza, ni kuchezwa unachezwa. I also do investment advisory.
Okay.
So guiding clients, whether in Kenya or in diaspora, whatever I scan business environment or investment opportunity, so that, and I also do due diligence on their behalf, so that I can also advise them and give them value of the areas that they can look at. And I also finally do what we call whether it is risk management or personal finance coaching. So that at the end of the day, I want to see a wholesome person and somebody who understands money, understands the language of money, and somebody who can be able to control money instead of money controlling them. That is the MWATHA that you see.
Thank you very much for that introduction. And I know investment is not a very easy topic. and people have lost money. And I am happy to hear that you encourage those who have dared to invest and they have lost or they have gained, because both of them, they have experiences. When you talk about investment, I know investment is of different types. Others, they will tell you they invest in plot, others in bonds, others in shares, others in land, and then they split those to 50 by 100. Others, they even talk about investing in Forex. There are those people who wear a very expensive watch like yours, Forex boys. Can you narrow down what kind of investment is it that you advise?
Okay. As I told you earlier, I scan investment in business opportunity, and more so that opportunities that is based or rather available in Kenya. Because I'm looking at, for instance, somebody based in UK like you are, you may not be really aware of what is happening on ground.
Yeah.
And therefore there could be one or two things you could be missing. And ukiwa kule, it's not that you are earning, you are earning, but you are not networked enough to understand where investment opportunities can be found or where you can optimize your use of your money. And therefore, I will scan environment and bring at your view what is available in Kenya, so that if you have intent to invest, you not make clear mistake of not understanding how the ground is. And more importantly, the mistake some people do is because they invest money in areas that they do not understand well. There are people who are Kenyans and they have been out of Kenya for many years. So kwa hivyo hawajui really what is happening on the ground. Some of them wanadepend na vile wanaambiwa na relatives wao. Wanaambiwa kuna plots zinauzwa, wananunua. Kuna nyumba zinajengwa. So you find that perhaps somebody sitting in diaspora anatuma pesa nyumbani, billions of shillings, as we are told by the government that we get from diaspora. But if you look at the investment that these guys do, mwingine alijengewa nyumba ushago, a house that is not generating any income. And those who don't perhaps want to come and retire home, they find that there is no income generating activity that is going on. Most of them are very, very frustrated, disappointed, that even during their retirement, in spite of working very, very hard out there, they have nowhere to retire to. And therefore, I look at the environment. We look at investing in. Yes, we look at the environment to invest. We advise on stocks. We advise in government securities, special funds, and real estate, and not necessarily every other coin unatumia kununua plot. I call that one plotisis. I don't have to infect you, or rather to infect you with the plotisis. There are better ways of investing in real estate without necessarily owning land yourself.
Now, I can give you a snapshot. We have lived in diaspora, and we have thousands of cases where people have relied on an uncle who actually is their financial advisor, and the uncle can only invoice as much, or rather inform as much as they know. Maybe in a local shopping center, you can do this. Others, they have been told to buy matatu, and I don't know matatu business, it goes bust. Others, they have built in other people's plot, and when they arrive, they are told the house is yours, but the plot belongs to me. So there is a mix of those diaspora frustration. And I would want you to advise diaspora on investment channel, whereby if I come there for holiday, it's easier for me to liquidate my money. I can live here, I arrive in Nairobi, and then I need to liquidate some few money, from my investment, so that I can be able to go to enjoy the city under the sun. What kind of investment that, because that a plot will tie your money. And if I land in Nairobi tomorrow, I cannot sell a plot and use that money within 3 weeks. Because before even the whole process, the cycle of selling, it might take a few months. What kind of investment do you have that they can help them liquidate easily when they come?
John, let me begin from where you picked. You say many a times great opportunities lost because the kind of advice that we get.
Yeah.
If you get the wrong advice, you are likely to make wrong decision, and you make wrong decision, it'll give you wrong consequences or bad consequences. And most people in diaspora, when I mean relatives, it is your mother, it is your uncle, it is somebody who perhaps have never even gone outside home. So the only thing they think is investment is buying a plot hapo nje. A plot that you cannot even liquidate. Hata ukipatia, I was teaching someone somewhere. Nilikuwa nasema you buy a plot. Unaambia ukiwa huko kuna plot zinauzwa mahali, let me say Malindi or somewhere, because they are cheap. Unaambiwa eka moja ni 70,000 or 50,000. But if you look at the opportunity cost or the time would take to recover that money, it might take another 100 years.
Wow.
So utakupa ukigojea upate return ya ile plot uliambiwa na anko yako ununue. So I'll begin by saying,
yes,
hakuna kitu kibaya kama ignorance, and most institutions exist because of your ignorance. And a system is somehow created to create that confusion. So anybody, for instance, avoiding using expert advice, are likely to make wrong decisions, and those decisions lead to bad consequences or the things that you wouldn't even want to say. So I would say whatever area somebody would choose, number one, you look at stability and liquidity of the business or asset you want to buy. As you're saying, for me, the key word is cash flow is king. If you're buying, whether ni shamba, unaweka business, unaweka whatever it is, we look at, is that business you're talking about that you want to invest in, number one, do you understand it well? Does it offer you comfort ya cash flow? Ili usikue na useme you are house rich, uko na nyumba, you are a plot rich, but you are not cash rich. Utazeeka tu huku na hauna pesa. And therefore for me, when coming through my channel, the last thing I would want to imagine it is to invest in a business that one of the key consideration is not cash flow. That is, for me, it is bigger than anything else, than even looking at safety of your money, than even looking at the return of your money. Because sometimes you look at plots unanunua, na unaambiwa hapa zinanunua hivi, then they have this huge return. But how long does it take for you to liquidate? And because real estate by nature is very illiquid, we don't just look at real estate, we look at areas like special funds that have relatively better returns. We may look at bills, which is government security bills. We may look at bonds that they may not give you as much, but you invest in a way that will give you better returns in short multiples.
Now, let's
somebody
a classical example. Assume a person from diaspora, they have 1 million liquid.
1 million.
If you can give a snapshot now, what can they do with that kind of money if they meet you now?
Let me give you two scenarios here. You've got 1 million Kenya shillings, right?
Yes.
That 1 million can buy a plot.
Yes.
That is within outside, let me say outside Nairobi boundary area, outside radius here 50 kilometers from CBD.
Yes.
Okay, but you can afford a plot worth 1 million Kenya shillings. Another person can take 1 million Kenya shillings and invest in a special fund. Okay. Before this meeting, you were having a conversation with the fund managers called Avocap Asset Managers. Okay. They have, called Avocap Asset Managers. They have so many, they have like 6 special funds, and at least with a return of between 30% and 60%. So let us look at a scenario where you have invested 1 million Kenya shillings with a return of 60% per year.
Okay.
So less fees and taxes, you can get, let's say, 50%. That is almost 500,000 Kenya shillings.
Yes.
The other person, if you were to invest in a plot, the match it can give you is between 8 and 9%
per annum.
Per annum. Less than around, let's say around 8, in somewhere less than 100,000 Kenya shillings. When somebody else is comfortably earning more than 500,000 Kenya shillings, and they are benefiting from the advice of professionals through the asset managers class. And therefore, if today, if you gave me $1 million, I will not even touch land. I will not even consider it. Because number one, it is illiquid. It might take very long time before I convert, I liquidate that plot. But if I choose today, I choose a special fund, like, as I told you, AVOCAP, with a number of special funds you can choose. You can choose to invest in stocks, you can choose to invest in bonds, but within that asset class, it has better returns. And therefore, in either you can invest in a special fund, and perhaps within a year or two, returns zake zikununulie that plot.
Yes.
Without tying, you don't necessarily have to tie any money at any given time. And that is my worry, that most of the people, because of ignorance, they want to invest money in an area where their money is tied for far too long. And therefore,
this is one of the clarification people would want to know. In Kenya, we have seen some vehicles of investment, either a land buying company, and then it goes bust. What kind of assurance do the people have in the company? Like you are calling it AVOCA or something like that?
AVOCAP.
Are they regulated? Who regulates them?
Good. AVOCAP is a special fund. Okay.
Yeah.
Fully regulated by Capital Markets Authority. And therefore, it is not operating just in vacuum. Secondly, it has NCBA, and NCBA is one of the key banks in the country. It has NCBA as both custodian and the trustee. Okay, meaning whatever AVOCAP is doing, it has a big brother watching over it. And because NCBA also is being regulated or supervised by a Central Bank of Kenya, it is like a multi-layered kind of regulation. One end, we have Capital Market Authority. The other end, we have the bank. And therefore, when they're talking about this huge return, they will not just wake up one day and say, we have returned at 60%, we have returned at 40%. Because before they do that, they must report to the regulator, which is either the bank or the Capital Market Authority. So if the bank or the regulator okayed that report or okayed that result, then it is announced to the public. So I guess, John,
yes,
in spite of the fear that this is a very huge return, it is bare, in my opinion, it is bare minimum, because they are a team of professionals, risk advisors, people who are able to project, people who are able to scan environment and find the best opportunities. And therefore, for me, you will not just come, or rather hear stories from relatives or whoever. The bottom line is, I will invest through a professional body, perhaps with an advice of a professional person, and you're likely to benefit more or optimize your return rather than just guessworking with your money.
Okay. Now, first of all, can you spell AVOCAP? Because the viewer might want to.
AVOCAP. Okay, A-R.
A-R.
V-O-C-A-P.
Or AVOCAP.
AVOCAP, yes, AVOCAP, asset manager.
AVOCAP
asset.
Currently,
sorry?
We have people, when they're investing, they are careful where their money is investing. You might get someone who is Christian. They don't want investment in BAT or tobacco product or alcohol. Which areas do AVOCA focus when they're investing?
Okay. First of all, they have all classes of investments. Even they do have Sharia to take care of the Muslim class, for instance. There are areas they don't look at. But special funds are also called multi-asset funds, because they have a number of, I would say, funds in one house called AVOCA. One, They invest in bonds locally. They also invest in stocks locally. They invest in precious metals globally, and also they also invest in global currencies. So such that, for instance, we expect, and I'll give you a very simple example. Kenya is headed towards a very political environment next year, and because of inflation, Kenyan shilling is likely to suffer a huge deal, and you expect that.
Yeah.
And to cover that or to mitigate that, they have a special vehicle. They have invested in global stocks, and not just in dollar. They invested in pounds, in euros, and all these other international currencies. And they have also gone outside Nairobi Securities Exchange. You will find them in London Security Exchange. You will find them in New York Security Exchange. That diversity affords you an opportunity to own bonds, to own global, yes, to own stocks locally, to own stocks globally, to own special metals like gold, diamond, and the rest, without you necessarily requiring your presence to be in it. And the other thing is they hedge against the risk of not having the opportunity to understand the entire market. Because, John, it might be very difficult for you to understand every asset class. But if you give me your money to an asset, rather a fund manager, they have engaged in their system professionals who are able to scan every area or the possible areas where you could lose money. And they, trust me, they give you the optimal return. If you invested anywhere and somebody tells you that they are turning 60%, that person has done more than average.
Yeah. Now, I think we will go for a break. And when we come back, we would want you to give us a classical example of someone maybe you have advised. They don't have to have had $1 million, but just how you went through with them in a classical example, so that people can have a feel of a real life story. Our viewers, we will go for a break and we will be back shortly.